Let's talk about side hustles. Normally on this channel I post vlogs, but I thought it'd be fun to sit down and talk to you guys about side hustles because I know we're all feeling the pains of this economy. Even if you have a full-time job, it's just hard to get by. I have experienced side hustling before, so I thought I was equipped to make this message. All right, here we go. The introduction. I just want to start this video off by saying that side hustles are side hustles, okay? It's not a get-rich-quick situation. Some of the ideas I will share with you, it's more about starting and then growing them to something that's more substantial. This is purely just kind of a way to explore some like extra fun money or maybe grow a potential business that ends up being a substantial amount of money later. But it's a hustle and they're on the side. So let's just keep that in mind. I am not for MLMs or buy my guide and become a creator making millions of dollars. No, this video is not about that, okay? It's sad but true that side hustles are not gonna be the answer for everything, okay? But they're still really fun and I think you should still keep watching this video regardless. Part 1, my side hustle ideas. This is the main bulk of the video, so I'm just gonna list off my side hustle ideas and give my little anecdotes for each of them. Let's put them over here. Number 1, TikTok lives. I've seen people do bullet journaling or tarot card readings, whatever your hobbies are. If there's a way that you can twist this into making a live, you can charge people or do it for free and people will send you money on TikTok. Again, this would have to be like a daily thing. I've seen people even do like, they buy lottery tickets and scratch off the lottery tickets. So something that would purely be fun if you didn't have any expectations for making like X amount of money because it would be random, but something to explore. Wedding content creation. One of my best friends has started this and it is a side hustle for her right now, but this is one of the examples that will hopefully actually become like her main thing or substantial enough to be at least like a whole other chunk of her income. So this is something that, you know, you could start exploring now if you like creating content, looking into the wedding industry. This is something you can do with a full-time job. Obviously, I'd let them know, but it's mostly weekend based. So on like Saturday or Sunday, you would just go and film a wedding. And it doesn't take as much like equipment as like if you're doing photography or videography, or for example, if you have a decent phone and you're familiar with content and trends and social media, this is something you could explore and it looks really fun. It's something I'm personally adding on to my services as a wedding videographer. So like I said, slow and steady wins the race. It's not gonna be a super quick fix, but if you give yourself a year to try to book some weddings and grow your portfolio, then it could be a legit business for you. Flipping thrifts. I know this next one isn't amazing and it's a lot of work because it's product-based, but I still wanted to throw it out there if someone's watching this and they're really good at thrifting. I think Facebook particularly is a little bit underrated. On Facebook Marketplace, I find like really cool vintage stuff. If you really like thrifting and you're really good at it, I really think that you could start a side hustle, buying things and then flipping them on Facebook or like an app like Depop, but I know they take some fees, so I feel like the Facebook route is a little better because it's local. And I don't know about you guys, but I've kind of seen a resurgence of like eBay. Like the girlies are on eBay. They're buying vintage watches, they're buying vintage film cameras, they're buying vintage digital cameras. I'm on eBay and I'm starting to see people buying, you know, I think 2020 and 2021, we kind of got sick of overconsumption and now we're trying to, you know, it's kind of more get what you pay for or buy investment pieces. I see a lot of people starting to kind of be sick of like the quick, like fast fashion. So I think kind of dipping into thrifting even more this year would be a good idea if you're already doing it or really good at it, because I can see it really booming. Good because it's sustainable, but I see a trend coming and a good one, not a wasteful one. Pause, I'm going to remove the ugly stuff in my background so you guys have it better. All right, next on my list, we have photography/film photography. So if you're someone who already wanted to dabble in photography, now's the time to start. Stop holding yourself back. Ask someone you know, hey, can I do a free photo shoot for you? Grow your portfolio, start an Instagram account, and you can start doing little photo shoots throughout the year. I would say after a couple shoots, as long as you're comfortable and like you're satisfied with your work, and you know, I don't want to encourage anyone to like move too fast if the work isn't there yet or you don't feel comfortable or whatnot. But I feel like a lot of people that are interested in photography are really good, and they just need some confidence and some motivation. After a few shoots, you could start charging $200, $300. Could easily make 200 bucks shooting a family. That sounded awful. Photographing a family on the weekend. Again, this could be like a once a month thing, but an extra $200, $300, that's groceries, okay? Do it. As long as you get like 12 clients, just do them every year. Like, hey, you need more photos. It's a new year. Let's do photo shoot. So, actually, I have one more point on that. Do you know how many people want photos? Everyone. Everyone wants them, or at least wants to have them done. Not everyone likes photo shoots, but everyone needs family photos or engagement photos or proposal photos, photos of their dog, photos of their kids. Like, everyone could use photos. Everyone that exists. So your client list is literally endless. Just saying. On this note, I'm going to pause and say that at this point in the list, when I was kind of thinking of ideas, the thought that came to my head was try to focus on service-oriented side hustles. I'm gonna share the rest of my list, obviously, but if any of these spark any ideas, the note that I would just try to push you guys to make is that services are the best way to go because it's gonna minimize your costs and time. I've had a business where I had an online store, and I've had a business where I just perform services, and the one without products is just way easier to manage. There's less costs, there's less time involved. It's just different. So obviously if you prefer one over the other, that's fine. But to help you get kind of thinking, try to go in the service route if you're wanting a more light approach to this whole side hustle thing. The next idea I had isn't groundbreaking, but I just wanted to put out there. I couldn't make a side hustle video without mentioning the gigs such as Amazon driver, Uber driver, DoorDash, and I'm gonna even loop in like working at a local coffee shop or like a boba tea place or something where it's simple, but maybe a type of service or company you could work for where it's not so demanding of your time. Like a coffee shop, for example, maybe they're super busy on Saturday. They don't need someone part-time, but if you're free on Saturdays and you go in every Saturday, something like that. Or if you work at a restaurant full-time, but you don't work until 4, then maybe you could go to the coffee shop super early in the morning. So just kind of looking at those businesses that already exist and seeing like, oh, in my spare time, I could do this for a couple hours. I know that a lot of people do like the Amazon delivery and it's actually pretty flexible. Like you can do it whenever you want to. Obviously look into this more because I'm not an expert, but it just really seems like a viable option and it's a legit business. So all you'd have to do is kind of sign up and you wouldn't have to do everything yourself. So obviously do the math on if it's worth it, if your time is worth like the gas and everything like that, but don't overlook those. Those could be really good side gigs. The next one I have is lessons or consulting. If you have a skill or talent or experience doing something that you like, maybe capitalize on that. Maybe start charging people for your knowledge. This is not going to apply to everyone, but some ideas, if you know an instrument, for example, you could teach piano lessons, or if you are really good at, like a lot of people, I feel like they do like notary on the side or like tax stuff. Those are more like technical, less creative, but you know what I mean? Like if you're good at something, like do it on the side for personal gain. I'm trying to think of more, like if you're really good at finances, charge to do a consulting call with someone, or social media. This one is gonna be a little trickier because if you're not already established, it might be hard to convince people that you have the knowledge to like sign up for something, but just think about it. I know when I was first starting videography, I would have paid someone to definitely like a mentor. I'm just gonna think of those little things that would make sense that people need to learn or don't feel like doing that you could help them with. This next one, I don't know how realistic it is. Just a fun idea I had. Me and Jared have a lot of plants, so I was thinking this would be like a once a year kind of bulk thing. But if you are super into plants, you could propagate a ton of plants, especially like more rare plants. You could propagate them and then sell all of them. Like you could literally sell clippings for $5 on Facebook. And it doesn't even have to be propagations. It could be clippings, like I just said. If you have a lot of plants and if you buy like a plant that's really rare and it's growing, cut it up and sell it. I know it sounds ridiculous, but like when Jared and I were getting into plants last summer, like we bought so many clippings for like $3 to $5 from people. And these girls would have like 100 clippings. Like it's not gonna work for everyone, but I really see it being a real thing for some people. So I just wanted to include that. My last two. The first one is I've seen a couple people do this. This might be also too niche. I've seen people style people online. So they will kind of fill out a form or see what their style is somehow and then get pieces for that person and collect them and then send them in a box. So it's like, hey, I want this style, and then you would show them and then that person does it for you. I bet you a lot of wealthy people would love that because they do not want to take the time to go and find the pieces, nor do they have the talent to do that. The people who would want this, I'm not saying wealthy people aren't stylish, I'm saying the people who are willing to pay probably don't have the eye for it. So if you are really into fashion and clothes, this would be super fun. Even for like a normal price, you know, like $40, I will go and thrift you a whole outfit. It could be really fun. Obviously it's probably in like the higher wealth price range because I'm not sure like the average person would even want this. But if you're really into clothes or thrifting, I think this would be a super fun thing to explore. And the last thing on my list, I have a love-hate relationship with this, but it is creating UGC. UGC is user-generated content. So this is a type of content where a brand would pay someone to make for them to post. The reason this is great is because your follower count does not matter. Instead of the company paying you to post something on your platform for views, you are sending them the videos for their use. Anyone can do this. Brands want diversity. Brands want a range of people. It does not matter what your demographics are. The only caveat, obviously, is that you have a knack for creating content and you're able to. You have the supplies to do so. But if you're watching this and you're thinking, oh, I'm too old for that, or I've never done that before, but it sounds fun, try it. Like seriously, try it. And this one is a little bit of a grind. You're gonna have to email a ton of brands. You're gonna have to have some examples, but I like it because anyone can do it and you do not have to have followers for it. This might not be something that is monetizable right away, but you might get a lot of free products, so I think it's fun. I also forgot this side hustle, pet sitting and babysitting. Duh, that's the ultimate side hustle. We've all been doing that since we were 12. So why not keep doing that in our adult life? Okay, that's actually my last one. The finale. Okay, now that I listed off all of my side hustle ideas, I hope that you can get some inspiration, even if they're not taken for what I said. If they can kind of give you an idea to branch off from for whatever you would do, I'm hoping that it can at least inspire you. To end off this quick and fun video, I just wanted to give my side hustle tips because if anyone does pursue this, I don't want to lead you astray. With that being said, we cannot overlook what everyone hates: taxes. If you are doing a side hustle, please do not forget to save about 25% of your income. That is the amount that I've found to be decent. You might not need it all, you might need a little more, but you need to be saving 25 to 30% just so when tax time rolls around, you have that saved. Also, I get very paranoid. I'm a rule follower. I pay taxes, okay? A lot of you, I don't want you to start side hustles and then get in trouble. So just Remember to save that money and to file your taxes. No, I do not work for the government, but if it ends up growing and being a legitimate thing for you, you just want to make sure all of your processes are in place and you're doing everything correctly. Just keep that in mind. I'm sorry to be that annoying, to say that annoying tidbit, but it's true, so just remember that. I just wrote a check to the IRS the other day, so I understand the pain. But anyway, along with saving 25% of your income from your side hustles, I highly recommend opening a high yield savings account. Literally just Google best high yield savings accounts, and there's plenty of articles that are comparing them. I use CIT Bank. I think a lot of high yield savings accounts are at like 5% right now. So what this is what it sounds like. You put your savings into it and it grows at that rate. Every month you get 5% back. There's literally, that's it. Make sure you read the terms and conditions of the bank you sign up for, like any fees or like transfer limitations, but there's nothing else to it. I don't know why we didn't learn this in high school, but yeah, it sounds too good to be true, but it's not. But all I'm saying is if you are already putting in 25% for savings for taxes, you might as well put it in there, because then you might make some little profit, you know? It won't be high unless you have like thousands and thousands of dollars in there, but it's free money and you're saving it anyways. So put it in there. And my last tip for side hustles is you have to stay consistent. If you want this to be a steady side hustle and not always a hustle, then just stay consistent. And you need to determine what you're capable of from the start. A lot of people get hyper fixated on one of these, hit the ground running, and then become burnt out or bored of it in a month or 2 months or 3 months, which is fine. It's not bad to try things, and it's not bad to start something and quit. It's totally fine, totally understandable. But if your true goal is to turn one of these into something that is more than just a side hustle, or a more substantial one at that, you have to stay consistent. If some of these aren't getting you any, revenue at first, you have to be consistent, and then it will eventually. Like I said in the beginning, there really is no quick fix, but it's also not a bad idea to start these now. And one day they might be actually something that you really enjoy and actually have significant impact on your income. Even if you don't think you need a side hustle, if you have some free time and it sounds fun to you, I recommend starting, and there's no pressure on how much you're making from it. It's more about the growth that you will have later on. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. I mostly post vlogs, but I thought this would be a fun video to make given our recent climate. If you have any side hustle questions, comment them below or DM me on Instagram. I'm very passionate about side hustles because I've pretty much always had one, starting with my duct tape business when I was in middle school. So I've never not had a side hustle, and I wouldn't be where I am today without it. So if you are someone who's interested, here is your sign to start what you're thinking of starting. It does not have to be successful ever or soon. Just start it and see what it's like, and it could turn into something great. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.